Thinking about construction toys, did anyone have construction toys, things you make things out of?
Meccano.
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 Yeah, I had Meccano. Boxes and boxes of it. Yeah, it's very interesting. Very helpful.
What colour was it?
Green.
Red.
The green and red Meccano.
Green. And yeah, loads of it. We used to spend hours and hours making things, taking them to it, start again. Yeah, very nice.
I also had other toys. I had a Meccano set which my father made a case for. He made a wooden case for me for it. And I used to make cranes, particularly in bridges,
Yes.
winding up bridges and so on, and the cranes. And I had I had wheels, cogs, and a fabulous set. Quite a few girders this long, and you don't find them now. But the triangular shapes of the metal were good for bridges and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had Meccano.
Yeah, I had Meccano,
Yeah.
and they put me a little steam engine. You know, you put a methylated spirit thing underneath it, and the wheel. You could put a belt on it too. If you made a mechanical thing in it, you Meccano that needed driving.
Yeah.
You could just connect it all up.
Yeah.
You can make, windmills. You can make all manner of things with Meccano sets.
Yeah.
I remember my brother having Meccano and playing with it together, because I was a bit of a tomboy as well, so I quite liked the boys' stuff. I didn't like the car stuff very much, but I do remember putting Meccano together. And Meccano's awesome, isn't it? I mean, it's just so kind of hands-on. I can remember things that look like bridges and, engineering stuff, because you got suggestions with the Meccano of what to make, so there's probably that sort of thing.
The great thing, I think all the boys today, they'll remember, it was new for us, was the Meccano set.
Yes.
That was marvellous. If you got one of them, you was made. That they had different sizes, but as a kid you just had a small one, you had the screws, and there you are.
Meccano. I mean, there was always Meccano about at home.
Meccano.
Yeah.
Yes, Meccano, that was the big one. And used to make almost anything and everything with Meccano, as long as you had enough bits and hadn't lost all the bolts and nuts, because they were nut and bolt connections. There was no sort of screwing to wood and things like that. But, they were good.
Yeah, I had Meccano as well.
I played with Lego a lot. So and Meccano, we had Meccano with batteries.
Meccano with batteries.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, we got they were like sets. I think we had a car, and you could like build it in. And it had like the plastic you could fold over and put a battery in. It was like a remote controlled car. That was really cool. Really liked that.
We had Lego. I remember having a big metal, probably just like one of those quality sweet tins, but it might have been even bigger, just full of Lego, and it was not like specific sets, it was just random bits of Lego.
I remember there were Lego, which I had a mass amount of because of my brother, which allowed me to not have to buy them and ask them for Christmas, which was always a pleasure. You had all these sort of themed Lego sets which allowed you to create what you wanted but also kind of tie it in with the theme of your choice.
Yes, I was a big fan of Lego. But before that I had the Duplo, which was basically the baby version of Lego, or the small child version, and they were a bit bigger, they're probably about that big or something, so children couldn't eat them. We must have had 2 sets of Duplo that had got mixed, because we had zoo animals and we had a house, bits that could make up a house with.
Yeah, I had a lot of Legos and stuff, and even before Lego, the childhood, I think they were called Duplo or something like that, the bigger blocks, they were, yeah, I had a lot of fun with them.
Yeah, I had some Lego. One of the first, we had some Lego because I had an older brother, so we had some leftover Lego. The good thing of about Lego in those times was that it tended not to come in these sort of sets that were linked to films or other things that were going on. It wasn't heavily marketed, so it was a utility Lego. You could make anything from it. So it's only limited by your imagination, really.
There was a rival to Lego called Better Builder, deliberately badly spelled, BETTA BILDA, and that's literally how it was on the packet, the name. And I could form quite ambitious constructions with those, but are completely incompatible with Lego. These were very much, they had 2 discs at the top, but they had a raised edge in the centre with a hole.
I used to have lots and lots of bricks, blocks, wood blocks.
Yeah.
Every time my father went into town, he came back with a pack of building blocks.
Yes, the Lots bricks.
Oh, bricks, yes.
I thought they were great. They inspired me, and they were comforting too because they were repetitive to make.
Yeah.
But you could vary the model making enough to be of interest along the line, as it were. And they had the green roofs, and I'm not quite sure what the stone was, some kind of marble.
Yeah.
With the colours printed on, which I thought was great.
It was called a Bluebird, which was a very simple aeroplane. I mean, it was the first one I ever built. My auntie was well aware of that, so it was quite a simple, just balsa wood construction with some tissue paper over it, and cellulose and elastic band and a propeller.
I remember some of the very first plastic aeroplane kits which came out just before the start of the Second World War, and they did a very short range, sort of Spitfire, things like that were typical, but they were funny sort of plastic, and you had to get a special glue for them and special paint.
I had something called, which I'd completely forgotten until you mentioned it, something called weenie bricks. And they each piece slotted into each other, and you could make scenes with that.
Grandmother, I think she probably was the person that gave me most of my dolls as well. And she bought me this large box, and it was called Plusty Cunt. Yes, I don't know if it still exists. And I can just remember the feel of that they were mainly blue. I don't know how to describe them. They were they had 3 prongs, or they had 4 or 5 prongs, or they were bars, and you had little yellow bits that fitted in to join them together.
So we were in a house which had a big cellar underneath it, and all down one side of the cellar was a big workbench, which my grandfather worked at and my father worked at, not doing anything in particular, but just as a hobby, really. And I had a tiny little vice that clamped onto the end of this. We had a little pond in the garden, so I used to hammer nails into bits of wood and make sails and float these little boats, little flat boats on the water. And it was just another thing that I did, but I quite liked being down there. It was sort of away from the house.